Hi and welcome to EJ Sport. My name is Guy and I'm about to do some predictions for the French Open tennis tournament. Now I understand it's already started and I have a distinct advantage from the get-go, but I'm doing it anyway because let's face it, I can. Okay, this isn't going to be a play-by-play. I don't see the point in doing that because there's too much to predict because it's such a large tournament. Instead, I'm going to do 4 to follow from the men, 4 to follow from the women, and I'm also going to cover off the Brits. So, first off, the men. Now, my 4, I've kind of not steered away from the seeds, with the exception of one. I think Murray's having a very good time at the moment. I've covered him off first because obviously he's a Brit. I think Murray has not only he's had victories recently over Djokovic and I believe he's beaten Federer recently, or it might have been down. But I do feel as though Murray's got some momentum, although he seems to be struggling in his first round match. If he gets through it, I actually think he's got enough momentum to carry on and potentially win it. Got Djokovic as one of my 4 to follow. He's obviously still just he's an immense talent, immense sporting talent. Djokovic is now reaching a point. He's turning a corner. He's turning the Federer corner. I think that it's slowing down for him. I think that there'll be a break in his dominance. I think, but he's still going to get sort of semi-finals, finals for a long period of time. My other two have gone for Rafa Nadal. It kind of goes without saying. He's a clay sport specialist, and that's what the French Open is. I think you go a bit wrong if you don't really find him as one to your follow. Even if he doesn't get as far in the tournament as he normally does, he's still an entertainment watch, and ultimately it's not just you're not watching it for the win, you are watching it for a little bit of entertainment, because tennis is like that. Tennis can be an enjoyable watch more than just watching people bash a ball about. And this might come as a surprise to some, but I've actually gone with Stan Wawrinka, the defending champion. Now, I know he struggled past Lucas Rosso in the first round, but I genuinely think that he's got that kind of fighting spirit that might take him that level. That there are a few others, obviously, in there that do very well on clay courts, and I think perhaps maybe we could look at some of the other bigger seeds coming through. I could sit here and do honourable mentions all the way through the card, but I want to leave that alone because the men's are kind of dominated by the seeds at the moment. So the 4 to follow for the women. Predictably, I've got a couple of seeds in here. They're seeds for a reason. Let's face it. I mean, they don't get seeds for being rubbish. I've gone for Serena Williams. As much as I dislike the woman, she is quite dominant in the fact that Clay's thankfully one of her weaker courts, because it's not all about the power. You can't control the power as much as you can on clay courts as you can on others, and it kind of takes a little edge off her game, which kind of then gives all of her opponents that little bit of hope that you can actually take her down a peg. But she's still a force to be reckoned with in the women's game at the moment, without the likes of Maria Sharapova on the scene. But she will get far nonetheless. Now, I've also gone for the number 2 seed, Agnieszka Radwanska. Now, I actually think she's a really, really good. I think she should be there. I actually fancy her to take the title. The other two I've gone for. I've gone for Kvitova. I think she's an entertaining player. I think she's very strong. I think she normally has a good French Open before she has an amazing Wimbledon. She normally gets quite far. My last pick is Victoria Azarenka. I think she has come to a little bit of form recently, and I think she does well on the clay courts. There are a lot of clay court specialists when it comes to the women, and there's a lot of honourable mentions that you'd like to say that could actually edge out the four I've got to follow. The likes of Sibylkova. There's quite a few. I could, like, again, like the men, I could sit here and mention absolutely loads, but I do realise that I've rambled my last two videos, so I want to try and keep it as short as I can. Okay, so the Brits. I started with the men with my 4 to follow, so I start with the men with the Brits. There are only 3 to follow at the moment. We've got Andy Murray, of course, who I think will go quite a way away. Carl Edmund. I'm a big fan of Carl Edmund. He had a very strong year last year. Also with his involvement in the Davis Cup, I think that's given him a lot of confidence. I could see him getting a couple of rounds, maybe. I don't see him getting very far. I think he would do well to get to the second week. I think there's promise behind Carl Edmund. And Bedene, I don't know much about the tennis player, if I'm honest. I saw him in some of the tournaments last year. He's a resilient character. I think he's got a long way to go. I do think that he could possibly go on. I don't know. We'll have to see where he progresses, but I don't see him getting past the third round. The British women. Now, wonderfully, one of the British women, Jo Konta, is seeded 20th. Now, I'm not sure how long it's been since we've had a woman British seed at the French Open, but I am delighted that we've got a British women seed. So she's 20th, but still, it's still a seed, and I'm really, really pleased. I actually think she could probably get to the quarters. I think she could on her strongest. I think she could get to the quarters quite easily. Laura Robson. Laura Robson's very, very inconsistent. Laura Robson can be brilliant on her day, and she can. I think in certain times she's got the potential to go to semi-finals, but at the moment I think she's in that hit and miss period, so I can see her probably getting to the 4th round, maybe the 3rd round. Naomi Brody, she's already gone. She came out the 1st round. What can I say? She's another hit and miss sort of player, unfortunately. She hasn't hit form for a while. Heather Watson, on her day, again, she can be brilliant. In fact, she's got a bit more consistency than Laura Robson, Heather Watson, and I really think that Heather Watson and Jo Konta can start kind of breaking into the outer reaches of the top 32 players in the world. I really think that they can that they can start pushing into that little that bracket of the elite players. I just think with Wimbledon around the corner, I think that this will be good experience for all of our Brits, and I think we'll genuinely quite do well. Now, I'll be doing for Wimbledon, I'll be doing a play-by-play of all the Brits, and I'll try and keep you up to date. But for the French Open, because I've got a lot more videos that I'll be doing for things like the football tournament coming up, I'll probably do stages maybe at the end of week 1 and after the tournament, just to give you my thought to follow and how they're doing and how things are going. Okay. What do you think of my selections? If you disagree, or if you think that I've overlooked someone, please let me know in the comments below, and remember to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cheers.